Coach Lance here with CFSJ's Inside the Box. Whether you have tight times or tight spaces, we've got you covered. What you're about to follow along with is a 1-hour class shrunk into a 10-minute video. How do we do it? We create pause points, we write out equipment lists, and we give you substitution options to where there is zero thought on your part. So whether you have a hotel room, a hotel gym, or you're lucky enough to be outside, we're going to give you that great CFSJ feel when you're not at CFSJ. So let's take a look at the equipment list. Most of the times fairly minimal, and a lot of times you can substitute these things for things you have around your house, whether it be a water bottle or a filled up backpack. So let's go ahead and grab your phone, let's check out this equipment list, and let's get going. Every class, we're going to start off with 2 minutes of cardio. Now, if you're lucky enough to have a bike or a rower or a treadmill or the outside, let's go ahead and do 2 minutes of rowing or jogging or biking. If you don't have that, then let's start off with some jumping jacks, some step back burpees, some double unders, or some other method of your choice that you can do in the tight space that you're in. If you need a suggestion, let's go ahead and do step back burpees. The thing I love most about step back burpees is they hit everything at once. So instead of making this a dynamic, we're going to make this a very slow, grindy kind of movement, stepping back, engaging that plank on the way forward, driving those hips open, getting that nice hinge and that hamstring stretch, and working the plank and the push-up. By the time you've done about 15 of these, everything is ready. Now again, it's your choice, so let's go ahead and start those 2 minutes now. With the cardio out of the way, let's focus on the 4 movements of our dynamic warm-up. Let's spend a little extra time getting the hips open during today's warm-up. Starting off with the Cossack stretch. Feet are going to be wide in a wide stance squat, tracking the knee over the toe. Work as hard at keeping that chest up as getting that butt down as we go side to side for 10. Next, the Samson stretch. During this, pro tip, keep the back knee off the ground. As you hover, push the hips forward, big reach up to the sky, shoulder blades back. Feel that stretch from knee to shoulder. Alternate for 10. Next, we're going to go standing glute stretch. Crossing right leg over left knee, slow squat back. Don't worry about making this reminiscent of a pistol. If balance is a challenge, I would suggest either squatting shallow or starting this movement on the back. And last, the Spider-Man stretch. Starting from a plank position, driving right foot to right hand, dropping the elbow and the chest to the ground, feeling that hip open up on each movement as we alternate for 10. And as always, if there's something that you've put in your repertoire that helps you open up, let's go ahead and add it here. Give me 10 reps of all of these, and we'll see you back at the next section. Today's activation, in addition to getting the hamstrings and the glutes ready for today's workout, works really well at bracing the core. In fact, if you've ever had low back pain, these 3 exercises are perfect for trying to take care of that for all future issues. We're going to start with the donkey. Down in tabletop position with hands under shoulders, knees under hips, you're going to use the glute to kick the heel up to the sky. Driving the heel closer to the ceiling, give me 10 each side. Next, from that same tabletop position, we're going to bring the knee up and out to the side for fire hydrants. The trick in this is not letting the core or the torso move during this movement. Your first couple of movements may be tight in the hips. You're using the glute to open up the hips with each movement for a total of 10. And last, This is the chiropractor's best friend for the low back, bird dogs. Again, from that tabletop position, you're kicking your back heel out and alternating fist, trying to keep the core from flexing or extending, from the back to arch or that belly to drop. A straight spine and straight hips are the key in this. Give me 10. Now, as always, we've got 2 rounds of this. Go ahead and press pause or review the videos as you finish up and we get ready for our strength. Today's strength is a lower body development day, alternating squats and deadlifts with a slight twist on each. For our deadlifts, we're going to go double dumbbell or kettlebell deadlifts. Holding these implements in suitcase style, we're going to go on the outside of the legs for our grip. We're looking at hitting the front head of the dumbbell or the kettlebell itself as we keep the back flat, doing 12 to 15 repetitions. Next, we're going to go unweighted for 12 to 15 Cossack squats. Widening the stance out, almost to a sumo position, but pointing the toes forward, keeping the chest up, driving that knee over the toe, working really hard to keep the chest upright as we drop the hip to heel. Now, there are 2 extra ways to provide a little bit of challenge to this. The first is, in the long extended leg, point the toes straight up. You're going to find that that gives you a little bit more distance, getting the butt a little closer to the heel. You're going to feel a little more like you're doing a pistol. The second challenge would be bring the feet back together on each rep. Now you're going to go 12 to 15 of these on each leg. You can choose to do all 12 on one side and then shift weight and do all 12 on the other, or come back to the standing position in the middle and go ahead and do 30 in a row. Now, we've got 4-minute rounds and 4 rounds of these. This should be plenty of time. You may end up pushing yourself just a little bit on the Cossacks. Make sure they're good. This is not a box just to be checked off. All right, let's go ahead and set that 4-minute timer and begin. Let's go over the Metcon. Today's WOD side hustle is a couplet of 8 minutes. You've got burpees and back squats. Called side hustle for obvious reason because of the lateral movements in the burpees. It could also be called, "Dear God, it's me, Margaret, are you listening?" Because that's what you'll be saying when you try to keep up these burpees for 8 minutes straight. Now, an AMRAP is typically a push. 8 minutes is just long enough to be able to keep up really high intensity before seeing that drop. So it's going to be more mental about how fast you go than physical. Let's go ahead and look at these 2 movements. With the lateral burpee, reminder, you do not have to stand all the way up as you clear the object. Now, whatever you're going to squat with is going to be good enough to jump over. If you feel like you don't need that much of a challenge, take and roll up a towel, just something that forces your feet to clear. We're looking for really, 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 really fast movements on this one. We're going to go directly into back squats or goblet squats, depending on what you have. However, this is a great workout for an odd object. You can grab something big and heavy, hold it like a bear, and pretend to do a front squat or a goblet squat with it. Anything that keeps the chest up, adds load to your weight, and allows the hips to go below the knees is going to be perfect. Now, how we're going to get this done is 12 lateral burpees before we get right into those back squats. Just a tip, but those legs are going to feel spicy as soon as you come off the burpees. Muscle through mentally in getting those squats done. By the time you hit number 5, you will get to 10 and you will get to 15. Don't feel defeated and don't drop the weight as soon as your mind tells you you need to. Push for a couple of more reps. The intention of a workout like this is to push mental strength and cardiovascular response. This isn't so long that you're going to start dying for breath, but your brain will tell you that you are. Push through each one. Even if you have to go slower, slow reps are better than no reps. At the end of 8 minutes, not only will you feel great that it's over, but you should feel proud of yourself that you put everything into it. Let's go ahead and set a playlist. My suggestion would be something really fast-paced, possibly some Metallica, maybe even Ride the Lightning. All right, 8 minutes. Let's go ahead and set a countdown timer, get that playlist started, and in 3, 2, 1, go.